So since we've already got a long meeting scheduled, and we are going to be doing our strategic planning for our minutes. Didn't even get that printed. I'm so sorry. I think we want to just do a quick check-in of who all is on the call so that we get that notated in the minutes. So Kelsey, would you start us off, please?
Kelsey Box, Marmaton Valley High School NK Club.
All right. And Dawn.
Hello, I'm Dawn Flores from Greenbush.
Okay. And then I think I have a Dawn Burchett.
Yes, it's very rare there's two Dawns in any meeting I'm ever at. I'm Dawn Burchett with Southeast Kansas Mental Health Center.
Awesome, thank you. And Bruce.
Hi there, I'm Bruce Symes with Allen County Commission and I work at the college.
Okay. And Linda.
I'm Linda Weldon and I'm with Greenbush.
Awesome, thank you. Kristen.
Kristen Wright, I am ACMAT treasurer.
Okay. Marcia.
Marcia Davis with Thrive and the secretary.
Right. Anne.
I'm Ann Elliott. I'm with the Family Resource Center and I'm representing the Family Response Advocate.
All right, thank you for joining us. Adam.
I'm Adam Burnett. I'm with the Resource Center for Independent Living.
Okay. And Sandy.
Sandy Haggard, AmeriCorps Senior Volunteers based out of Neosho County Community College.
Okay. And Michelle.
I'm Michelle Mivas, and I am with Hope Unlimited, and I serve on the ACMAT board.
Awesome. And Jenny.
I'm Jenny Westerman. I'm a community liaison with Greenbush.
All right. And Debbie.
Debbie Higginbotham. I'm director of the Drug-Free Communities Grant and a therapist with Southeast Kansas Mental Health Center.
Great. Robin.
Hi, I'm Robin Moman. I'm with the ACMAT board.
Okay. Alicia.
Hi, I'm Alicia Turner. I'm with the Kansas Children's Service League Healthy Families Program.
Okay. And Judge Kreitz.
Dan Kreitz, Chief Judge.
So Tara.
Hi, Tara Solomon Smith with K-State Research and Extension Southwind District.
Great, thanks for joining. And Mona. Oh, Mona's on mute. Hey.
Sorry, hi. Yeah, this is Mona. I'm finally attending for the first time in forever.
Well, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate that. And let's see. Did I miss somebody? Oh, Jessica.
And Jessica McGinnis with Southeast Kansas Mental Health Center, also the Drug-Free Community Coordinator, and I'm staffed with the ACMAT Coalition.
And I'm Carol Olson, ACMAT Chair with Emprise Bank. Did I miss anyone? Okay, so quick updates. Robin, do you want to, are we sticking with the April 1st? Is that right for soap making?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, there ended up being a personal conflict, a birthday party of a niece that I didn't know about at that time, and we initially scheduled it in March. So we did push it back to April 1st. It's still going to be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Humboldt High School after prom fundraiser. It's February 26th at the high school. Kristen, did you have anything to add on that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I actually did. I'm sorry. I've also have contacts with Iola in Marmaton Valley regarding their after prom like we did last year. So I'm just waiting on that information to share with the board when I receive that.
Okay. And so I guess, is that just would everybody be in agreement to make those after prom donations, the same as we did last year. What was that amount, Kristen? Or did we?
$50 and after prom, so it should be a total probably 150. I think just the three.
Are there any questions or objections to that donation? Okay, if there's no opposed comments, I'm going to take that as everybody is in agreement and we will move forward with that. Okay, everything else we will table until our meeting in March. So I'm going to turn this meeting over to, and I forgot, I'm sorry. Jenny, you're not the one doing this one, are you?
It's Dawn Flores.
Dawn, I'm so sorry, Dawn.
That's okay.
My apologies.
No, I just want to make sure that it was me next.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. I'm thankful that Jessica and the group had contacted the Center of Community Supports to help you with this. But we do the evaluation support for the Drug-Free Communities Grant. And we work with the Mental Health Center on several different projects. And one of the things that we do is strategic planning. So because we work with you so closely on some other things, we were, really excited about the opportunity to visit with you all. Just a little background about me. Since I've been working with ACMAT since I think about 2015 or so, when you had the implementation of the Drug-Free Communities Grant. So I've had the opportunity to attend quite a few meetings. Linda Weldon does the evaluation now and she's on. And of course, I've worked super closely with Jenny Westerman over the years. And so they're going to be here supporting as well. The first thing that I'd like to do though, is I need to see if I can share here because I want to be able to show my screen.
You should have access, Dawn.
All right. Can everyone see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, great. Just a little bit so that you guys know when I'm on these, I have a really hard time seeing you. I also can't see the chat. So if you have something that you want to say as we're moving along, please feel free to jump in. Jenny and Linda also have agreed to monitor the chat for me. So if anything does pop up, or Jessica, if you see anything, please just go ahead and interrupt me as we're going through the process because I may or may not be able to see you. Just so that you know, that's the only downside to Zoom, right? You do this and then I can't see y'all. So anyway, thank you all so much for allowing us to be here today. So just a little bit of feedback. We are part of the Center of Community Supports at Greenbush. So we do a lot of different things. We do project management, we do evaluation, we work a lot with local communities, as you know, in drug prevention. Recently, we've been doing a lot of work on the mental health evaluation side. And this strategic planning that we've been doing has become quite popular since when COVID hit, and all of you know, in March of 2020, we had to really change the way that we did things around strategic planning. And so our supervisor, Monica Murnian, held a meeting with me and she said, "Hey, Dawn, we've got to do something different. We're not meeting in person now. And I've still got these strategic planning sessions scheduled. So what can we do?" So we worked very, very closely together and came up with a process by which we can do strategic planning remotely. One of the upsides to this is that everyone has an equal opportunity to be heard, which sometimes in strategic planning processes, you don't really have that, right? You have a group of people, you have a few people that have a lot to say, and then you have a few other people that have nothing to say. And sometimes the loudest voices are the ones that get heard the most, right? Well, in this process, when we get to the end, we'll actually be doing a prioritization, and everyone will have the opportunity to provide their feedback. So there isn't any feedback that's more important than anyone else's. No one gets heard more than another person. And so I hope that you'll enjoy the process. So that's kind of what we're going to be going through today. What we're going to be doing is helping you through the going through some community data, and then we're going to facilitate the process. So we're going to talk a little bit about ACMAT. Thank you all for sharing information about that with me. I'm going to go through some demographic information about your community, and then we're going to go to the survey results. So this process is 4 steps. The first step is, what do we know? So that's going to be our calibration. We're going to take a few minutes to just kind of step back and talk about what we do know. What is the history of ACMAT, and what do we know about the Allen County community? After we do that, we're going to step into the planning process, which is going to require us to take a look at what we believe and what we want. At that point, we're going to prioritize. And then hopefully, if we have a little bit of time, we're going to get into a discussion about what we're willing to do to get there. Okay, so the first section is, what do we know? The purpose of this really is to just calibrate us at Center of Community Supports and calibrate you so that we're all on the same page as we start. Okay. So the first part is about ACMAT. So what do we know about you guys? You guys were formed in 1994 as part of the CAN Focus Grant Initiatives. And I know Jenny Westerman on here, you've been around since the very beginning, right, Jenny?
Yes, that tells you how old I am, but yes.
So I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, because I didn't ask you to do this. But I know that you know about this. Do you want to share maybe 30 seconds about how that came about? Maybe not ACMAT specifically, but about the initiative? You can say no.
It's okay. It came about when they were really looking at the changes of juvenile justice. And the first couple of, when we met informally before CAN Focus, it was really so individuals from different agencies could bring cases, and we could discuss on what resources in the area were available that we could help a family before they landed in front of the judges. And so that's really, it was pulled together to help keep kids out of the system.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And then in 2007, I understand there was new leadership that transitioned the group from what they were doing before to a more action-oriented and visible coalition. Now, I wasn't with you all in 2007. Do any of you have any feedback on that particular part of ACMAT's history? Not sure if anyone's been around that long or not.
I've been around for that length of time, unfortunately.
Well, hi, Michelle.
This at that time, the leadership within ACMAT started to focus on becoming much more active and visible within the community to make members of the community aware of resources that were available to them, and also so that we could begin to gather a better understanding of what the actual needs of the community were. And so that is where that all came from.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. And then in 2014, you had a subcommittee, a substance abuse task force. In 2015, y'all must have done a really great job with your committee, because within a year you'd received a drug-free community grant for years 1 through 5. And I came in, I think, right at 2015 when you all just started, or that first year. And then in 2020, of course, you were able to prove that what you were doing was a good thing for the community, and they gave you some additional funds for 6 through 10. And so I understand, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because that has been known to happen often. But you guys are at a point right now where you're wanting to kind of take a look and see where you're wanting to go moving forward, right? You've got a couple more years of drug-free communities funding, and then you've got some other things that you're doing. But does anyone want to share, like, why now? Why was Greenbush contacted now?
I think a lot of it is just because the DFC grant is coming, you know, nearing completion. And, you know, what avenue does the rest of the coalition members, what do they want from ACMAT? How, you know, do we need to assist more in educating, supporting their agency? I mean,
okay,
you know, as a whole, where do
Sure.
we want to see ACMAT go and support our community?
Okay, wonderful. All right. I think that today we'll be able to get a start on that. So so you all shared with me the bylaws. And so what I wanted to do is just go through a few of the things that I picked out that I thought were important. It looks like you recently revised them. So you had them in 2014, and then in 2021, at the very end, you revised them. Any particular reason why they were revised at that time?
Again, I think,
Oh, Michelle, I think you're muted.
I think that the reason that we decided to revise them at that time was, and some of the other members could probably speak better to this, but when you read through them, and then looked at the things that we were doing within the community, it wasn't all jiving.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just kind of needed to update it to reflect what we were doing more accurately.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, thank you for sharing that, Michelle. All right. So this is the bylaws. All of this is from the December 30th, 2021. So we've got the most up-to-date information on your bylaws. So this is your vision. And I should step back and just say that this is your vision as of December 30th, 2021. It's perfectly fine if you as a group decide that it's time to revise this. So this is what you all said then. And I think it's really good to kind of take a step back and look at this. But if you all decide that this is not your vision, or these other things are not where you're going, or you want to add things or take away things, that's perfectly okay. But your vision and your bylaws is collaborating for a healthier community. And I would say that you all do a pretty good job of that. Your mission, committed to providing a unified service system that collaborates with community partners and pools resources to meet the needs of children, individuals, families, and community members. Through this commitment, ACMAT provides the community with factual data, education, and resources to improve the quality of life for Allen County citizens. Does this sound about right to everyone? Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. And it really does open you up to a lot of opportunities, right? It's not super specific, but it's also focused, obviously very focused on families and community members and education and resources and improving that quality of life. So that's really great. So you have a goal listed in your bylaws to bring organizations and individuals together to collaborate and share information to better serve children and families in Allen County. Okay. So you guys in your goal have really broken that down a little bit further, saying children and families, collaborating and sharing information. Okay, so on your purpose, we've got several slides here. I'm just gonna take a moment to let you read this, and then I'll move to the next slide. So again, education, children, families, networking are really come to the forefront in these purposes. Okay. Here's the next slide. So I think this first one probably speaks to your safety night and those other things that you do. And then that second one there probably speaks a little more to the DFC grant. And then you've got healthy choices. And again, that education piece, that community education. And then this is the last one, working with city and county governments. Okay.
Could you go back one slide, please, Dawn?
Sure, of course. Did
Okay,
you have a comment?
those last three on there have or.
Yes, that's how the bylaws were written.
Okay. Can somebody with ACMAT share with me how or why we have or? Because can't we be 2 of those 4 or 3 of those 4 or 4 of those 4?
Bruce,
Yes.
I believe, I don't really honestly don't see any reason not to, because they all obviously intersect, you know, at just about every angle and stuff. And I would imagine by the time we got here, when this, or you know, when this was being done and stuff, it's probably just maybe, you know, just the way the sentence structure was suggested by word. I don't know.
There was probably some sort of a conversation that you all had, and maybe you were looking at those things specifically and going, oh, I don't know if we're going to tackle all of these, but we want to leave ourselves an open, you know, like you absolutely could change all of these to not have the or. And I thought that was interesting too. So I'm glad that you brought it up, because when I looked at it, I was like, well, it's interesting that they had all of those and then they chose those that or at the end. But sometimes it's just to kind of leave yourself an out if you feel like you can't do all of it, or maybe you're not quite sure what you're going to do next. So thank you for the question. Was it answered adequately for you?
Yeah, and not, I'm not trying to pick at the work or the document. It's just kind of a word guy, and those stuck out to me.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you bringing it up. And that's a conversation that you all can have too. You know, after we identify these priorities, you may want to take another look at the purpose. Okay. All right, so here's another thing that was in your bylaws. We all know for DFC grantees and for other things, sector representation is really important. So just want to take a moment for you all to take a look at these and say, do we feel like that we have this representation? Are there places where we need to try and solicit additional representation? I know that and I have not been to a meeting in probably 2 years, but I've never really seen any youth. I have seen businesses, sometimes education, usually not. Seen law enforcement, healthcare, not sure about parents, not sure about media, youth serving organizations, definitely state, local entities. You guys are great about that. What do you all think about this list? Any places that stick out that you're like, you know what, we've been talking about this, Dawn, and we really need to make this happen?
I mean, I think usually Kelsey's at our meetings and she's represents the school.
Okay.
But I agree with the youth. I'm not sure that I've ever considered somebody under 18 attending, but I know that like Jessica spends a lot of time with the youth. So she's kind of their advocate, I would think, but not that they attend our meetings.
And they have on occasion, if they have something that they want to present or, you know, but obviously they're in school.
Right.
So, but I know when we were meeting at Pizza Hut, I think there was at least 2 or 3 times over the years that, you know, they did come to the meetings to share what they were working on and doing. I would like to have more media presence. I think that would be helpful.
Okay. Any other comments about places where you might want to look at beefing up the representation? Do you feel like you have all the rest of these? Okay, I honestly don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, I do. The law enforcement, they're kind of hit and miss on being able to attend, but
yeah,
I think if we can just try to, reach out to them. I mean, they do partner with us, for Family Safety Night and things, and the drug take back. So I think that partnership is there.
Okay, awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys. Any other comments? Kristen, I think I saw you come off of mute. You just happen to be one of the few people I can see. Did you have something before we move on?
No, not at all. I was
No.
just, Carol was going to say the same thing I said. So
Awesome. Okay, great. All right. So I'd like to go ahead and just share a little bit about Allen County. I bet a lot of you know this already, but hopefully there'll be something that maybe you haven't seen for a little while. This is just a little bit about Allen County and your community. So you've got 12,556 people. That's as of the 2020 census. And here's your breakdown. I know that you guys have a real focus on youth. So I just wanted you to kind of see how many youth you have in your community. You've got 722 under 5 years, 816 5 to 9, 798 10 to 14, and 15 to 19 is 909. So you've got 25.9% of your population under 25. When you're looking at goals and objectives and reach, sometimes it's just good to know those figures. So this is your demographic breakdown. You are mostly white, 92.5%. And then down here at the bottom, 4.1% Hispanic Latino. That is calculated separately because it's an ethnicity, not a race. But you do have a little bit, of diversity, but not a whole lot. I'm sure you guys probably know that already. Not a surprise to you, I'm sure. So here's a little bit about educational attainment, just because I think it's always important when you're working with families to understand who you're working with. Your high school graduation rate is a little higher than that of Kansas. But those in your community that have a bachelor's degree or higher is substantially lower than that of Kansas. So I think that is important to know when you're looking at your targeting efforts and you're looking at targeting families. So a little bit about income, probably also no surprise. Your median household income is lower than that of the state by about 13,000-ish a year. You also have more people in poverty on average than those in Kansas. And then lastly, your housing information. Housing information is something that not a lot of people look at, but it actually is really important because it tells you how stable the people that are living in your community are. Your gross rent, it is lower than the state of Kansas, but also the value of homes is also lower. In fact, it's substantially lower. Your average home is 83.6 versus that of Kansas is 164.8. So that makes a difference. Now, the good thing that even though your income is a little lower, your rent and that sort of thing is also a little lower. So that helps. You also, these owner-occupied housing units at 72% is actually a very good number. One of the things when you're looking at the health of a community is you want to look at that housing and see how many people are actually own their home. Because if you own your home, you know that you're less likely to move around a lot and you're more likely to be involved in the community. So the fact that you have 72% home ownership over the average of 66% is really good. In my community, it's lower than 66%, and we do feel the effects of it quite often. So just a little bit about Allen County. Is there anything that you guys have heard recently or seen that I didn't go over that you think would be important for us to know before we move forward?
I'm going to interject here, especially with this housing data. And part of the reason is because I serve weekly on a committee that is trying to address homelessness in this area. And I do not believe that this accurately reflects several things related to the housing industry in our area. There are a tremendous amount of people that are homeless. You know, they don't necessarily identify as homeless, but they're couch surfing. They're sleeping in places that are not typically considered the appropriate place to sleep every night. And, you know, and then I also, those people who are searching for housing, and I see them all the time, our gross rent may be lower than across the state, but it is still considerably more than the people in this area can comfortably afford. It's, for many of them, it is approaching probably more than a third of their total monthly income. That doesn't leave you much to work with.
No, it doesn't. I think that we've seen that as an issue across I think across the nation, but I know that it's especially hard hit in Southeast Kansas as well. I have just anecdotal, I don't usually go into this, but I have a very good friend who's lived in Pittsburgh who was in a very unsafe home. And she had 2 part-time jobs, and it took her a solid 12 months to find a home that she felt that she could live safely in. And that's, I mean, and she was looking, she was actively, but she would go and she'd be like, you know, for $700 a month, I can't, this place isn't safe, right? It's falling in, or, you know, it's no better than the place that I was in. And so
very substandard.
Yes.
And,
it's
and
just,
very substandard. And it kind of speaks to a lot of things that go on when you're in an area that's pretty poverty stricken, because they get trapped in that cycle and they can't get out.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that may be something that as a coalition, you all want to take a look at. Is there anybody, does anyone from the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas come to your meetings? Does anyone happen to be on right now? No. Okay. Well,
Mrs. Drewer has, she attended last month, and so hopefully she will become a regular.
okay. Well,
Kathy, that's her name.
so there is an effort. So I live in Pittsburgh, and the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas has partnered with Wesley House to, and so there's like a big community effort right now to address the homelessness in our community here. And they have taken over a nonprofit organization, and they're providing, it's not a long-term solution, but it's a this winter solution where they're keeping the facility open 24/7, at least through March, to be able to make sure that people are safe. So I just wonder if you all might want to consider getting a hold of someone at Community Health to kind of see what they've been doing. I think there's been a lot of lessons learned over the last couple of months that they've encountered that maybe they've not anticipated, even around, community perceptions and just, all sorts of things. But if you're interested in that at all, Michelle, or you think it might bring a different perspective, I can get you connected with them.
I already am.
Are you?
They're a
Okay.
member of the Homeless Coalition also.
Nice. Okay.
And so, yeah, we've got a lot of people working really hard across, Southeast Kansas. It's the Southeast 17, counties and stuff that are, they're pretty infamous with their being known as being embedded in poverty and a few things like that. And there's a lot of efforts being directed toward improving the situation of people in this area. But housing remains a problem. The CHC is very, very active. And I think there's some efforts to get safe, affordable housing in the area, utilizing some of the things that may already be within the community.
Wonderful.
It's still just here in Allen County, it also is exacerbated by the when we had the flood several years ago. A lot of the housing that people could afford and was reasonably safe to live in was in that southern part of of Iola. And when the flood took everything out, that kind of eliminated a lot of housing options for people.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know that. That's horrible. And I'm sure none of those were probably rebuilt in another area.
No, if you drive down through that southern part of the city, what you see is lots and lots of nice vacant lots, and people are not going to build on them because they're in the floodplain, and you can't afford the insurance and address all the requirements to get insurance to build in those areas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And April Jackson in the chat notates that, you know, they have the recovery house that they're running in Iola, and residents are not able to find affordable housing to transition to. So that's been kind of an issue with what they're working on there.
So is the recovery house, is that a shelter to help combat homelessness? Do people live there, or is it just like something they go to during the day? Does anyone know how that works?
I believe, not to speak over April, but I believe that the recovery house is transitional housing for people who have been in drug treatment and are seeking to transition back into the community. And I'm not sure about this, but I think it was originally designed to be a fairly short-term stay, and they're finding that people are staying longer because of the housing issue. And then we're getting off on housing and stuff.
No, I think this is okay. Absolutely. Yes.
It is a huge driving issue. As crisis services coordinator at Hope Unlimited, one of the major things that we seek for anybody coming out of shelter, and ours is a domestic violence and sexual assault shelter. Anybody who has been receiving crisis services through the shelter, one of their pressing needs is safe, affordable housing.
Yeah.
And that extends their stay in shelter by months.
Okay.
So Michelle, I have a question about the homeless, which we all know is a reality, and I would underestimate it if I was forced to give an estimate of the number of homeless that we have in Allen County. But it's my perception that when we're looking at census data, that doesn't include people who don't have a home. So
well, they're definitely less likely to take the census.
Those stats are going to be skewed
right now
from the get-go there, and you guys are saying this too, but that owner-occupied housing, whether it's good or not, I mean, I suppose from a statistic standpoint, it'll go down, so it won't be as great. But with these apartments that are being talked about and the new housing development and everything, we are trying. There's a lot of groups that are trying to address that at all levels of income abilities. So, you know, affordable is very, very, very important to keep in mind when we're looking at housing.
Absolutely. And when you're talking about affordable, I think you need to seriously maybe look at the reality instead of the data. And I say that because we have so many people that are working, but they're not working in very well-paying jobs. And so when you're looking, we certainly need to look at a true reflection of income for each family or person that is looking for housing. And, you know, that is also, I was going to say, as far as the homeless population, the Kansas Homeless Coalition they do a thing called a point in time. And what it tries to get a grasp on is the number of people who are housed in facilities because they are homeless, and they search under bridges and they go out on the streets and into shelters and all of this thing, and they are trying to determine why these people are homeless, how long it's been going, and a variety of other needs. That data has not been compiled yet because we just finished that point in time count on February. It went from 5 p.m. on February the 25th till 5 p.m. on the 26th, I think. Anyway, so they just got that data in, and it will be available in a compiled form with implications and stuff at kansashomeless.com once they've had an opportunity to look it over and get it all put together. I'm going to say it's probably going to be another 4 to 6 weeks, but it should give a somewhat better indication of at least the homeless situation in the area.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Michelle, is that something that you could maybe share with the coalition when it comes out?
I could certainly try.
Okay. Well, thank you. It sounds like that something very important potentially has come up. So thank you so much for all of your input on that. Now, I want to give some, everyone the opportunity if there's something else that they do want to bring up for consideration before we move into the other part. Does anyone have anything else that you think that we need to know to calibrate about your community before we go to the next steps where you're going to be actually providing your input and your priorities? Anything that was missed from the bylaws, from other things that you're working on?
I just want to clarify, everybody on the call today, do you have our bylaws? I know they've been sent out to the coalition as a whole a while back ago, but if I need to, I can resend them now just so you can have them. Maybe that's just a good idea, just to resend, just in case.
Yeah, maybe you could just resend them when you have the opportunity. Jessica, thank you. All right. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and move forward. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to discuss what do we believe, and then we're going to go into what do we want. So now this is a participative process where you're going to identify your beliefs, your wants, and your priorities. So everyone get ready, get your thinking caps on, because you guys, it's your show now. The first thing that we're going to do is identify what you believe. So the reason that this looks so crazy, you guys, is that I didn't know if any of you were going to be in a room and needed to be able to see this. So I went ahead and just put it a lot of different ways. But what I want to do here is just toss this in the chat. So that you all can just do that. I don't see that there's anyone in a room with several people. Is that true? Everybody's on their own computer? Okay, great. That'll make it a little easier, I think. Okay, so I've put it in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing because I'm going to show you what you should be seeing. I'm going to go ahead and sorry, guys, we're going to end the show here. All right. Okay, I'm going to reshare. So when you click on the link, this is what you should see. It says at the top, ACMAT, what do we believe? Let me know if you're seeing that or if you're not seeing that. Everybody seeing it? Okay, I see a thumbs up and some heads shaking yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So there are a couple of rules. Number one, it's intended to be very general, because the purpose is for you to be able to have your own thoughts associated with it. The other thing is that sentence structure, grammar, spelling, none of those things count, right? So just put your thoughts in. So the first question is, what is the purpose of ACMAT? So why do you all get together? The second one is, what problem are we trying to fix? The third one, what would happen if ACMAT didn't exist? So if June 30th, you guys get together and your president says, we're shutting this whole thing down, what do you think would happen within the community and or within ACMAT or your own personal organization? Number 4 is, what do we want to get done? Number 5 is, what should be our cause? Number 6 is, what can we reasonably accomplish? And number 7 is, how can I contribute? Now, once you're done, click the submit button and I will receive your responses and I will show those to you on the screen. All right. So does everyone understand what we're doing? Okay. So it looks like there's 22 people on here, minus myself is 21. So I'm assuming there'll be right around 21 responses.
I think there's 2 that are in a room together.
Okay, so if you, okay, so the 2 that are in a room together, all right, can you guys holler at me? Oh, it says we have it figured out. Okay, great. You can use your mobile. I can also put it back on the screen for you to be able to use the QR code. If you need any help, just holler, guys. Thanks, Jessica. So it's 12:48. I'm going to go ahead and just mute until 12:53. But here in just a moment, I'll put it on the screen and we can see, we'll watch the number go up and we'll be able to see everyone's responses in real time.
And
Hopefully.
will you put the QR code back up, please?
Yes, absolutely. Just one second. And then if you could please let me know when you get it, Mona, because I want to be able to take that off. That way we can, that way I can put up the report. Okay, I'm going to do it right now for you. All right, the QR code is up. Please let me know when I can take it down and put the report up. There's no rush.
I did get it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Does anyone else need what's on the screen?
Dawn, I think we had someone new join. I don't know if you want to give a brief.
Okay. Sure. So who's our new person? Who am I talking to?
Is it
Apologize. I had another obligation. I'm Brandy Galbraith with Southeast Kansas Work. So please continue on. I can catch up later. I can catch up later. I don't want to inconvenience anyone.
Oh no, absolutely not. Brandy, we're glad that you're here.
Yes.
You came for the best part. So
wonderful.
What we've been doing is we've been talking about the history of ACMAT and kind of what the community looks like and where some of those priorities have been. So what we're doing now is on the screen. You'll see where it says, what do we believe? There are 7 questions that we're asking everyone to answer. They are very generic. And so the link is in the chat. So if you wouldn't mind going, oh, is it in the chat for you, Brandy, or did you come on after I posted the link? Do I need to post it again?
Give me one moment. Let me look here.
Sure, no worries.
Yes, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me just a second. Okay, so there's the link. And if you click on it, there are 7 questions that are very generic in nature. Don't worry about full sentences or spelling. Just give it your best shot. Okay, I've got the report up. There are 7 of you so far that have completed it. It looks like I'll go ahead and just give you to 12:55, maybe 3 more minutes since we've got a little over half of you that are still working on it, probably closer to 70%. Okay, we're up to 12.
Dawn, just for everyone's peace of mind, all these answers are confidential. You can't
Yes.
see where anyone's answers came from. So please don't be afraid to share your honest feedback.
Yes, that's a great point. Thank you, Carol. Everything is anonymous. I can't tell where they've come from. If there is an answer that seems a little out of the norm, or that maybe requires a little more explanation, I may say, are you willing to share? And if you just stay quiet, I'll move along. Okay, we're up to 18, so we're almost there. Great. We'll give it just another minute or so. And just so you know, if for some reason you are lagging a little behind and we get started, as we're discussing them, your responses may update. We may see them in the report. Looks like it's 12:55, so I'm going to give you about another 30 seconds or so, and then we'll get started.
I may be the only one that this applies to, but I noticed there's not autocorrect on your survey.
Oh,
Says the word guy.
it's okay. We're not counting that today. Let's see. All right. Okay. Well, we've got 18. We're going to go ahead and just move forward. If you're submitting, yours may show up. But we need to keep moving along, or we're going to keep you a lot later than you had anticipated. And I don't want you all to leave me, because we need you for this process. So, okay, so question number 1, what is the purpose of ACMAT? What you see here is what they call a word cloud. So the software that I use actually takes a look at the words, the important words that you all have said, and makes the words that you say the most, the large. And so what it tries to do is emphasizes importance, and you can quickly take a look and say, okay, everybody's kind of on the same page, or no, everybody isn't. So you can look and see if there's anything that looks a little off or unusual. So your words, obviously you've got Allen County. You also have agencies, support, improve families. Got some alcohol, communication, prevention, coordination. So I would say that this is pretty calibrated.
There are 21 responses now.
21, awesome. Let me refresh. Thank you, Linda. Okay. All right, so we've got agencies. It's a big one. Okay, so what is the purpose? I'm going to go ahead and just go down and give you just a minute to kind of peruse what everyone has said. We've got calibration, sharing resources, collaborate, support, improve the lives of children and families, common goals, drug prevention, community-based resources, supporting our community, collaborate. How do we carry out our mission for substance use and health? Drug, alcohol-free communities, health and safety of residents, organizational resources, connect citizens with agencies, provide education, bring others together, and improve Allen County. Great. I would say that you all are pretty calibrated. You're all here for similar reasons, to make the community better. So number 2, what problem are we trying to fix? You've got drug and alcohol here are pretty big. You've also got families, youth, misuse, building barriers, poverty. It's a little light. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. And please stop if there's something that you want to talk about. We're running just a little behind, and so I'm trying, in the interest of time, to move forward, but I don't want that to mean that you all can't speak up. So please say something if there's something you want to talk about. We've got access to care, poverty, attendance, struggles that low-income families face, substance use, a declining community. That's an interesting word. Making our community drug-free, community promotion, drugs, alcohol, so several about drugs, poverty, working to find the direction you want to take, health and safety, drug and alcohol. Make sure we have the right community partners working together. Also, how do we get more involvement? Great. Health outcomes, substance misuse, problems associated with generational poverty, systems dependence, lack of value placed on education, hopelessness, substance misuse, chronic mental health issues, community barriers, and alcohol and drug addiction, reducing poverty. Great. What would happen if ACMAT didn't exist? The biggest word there is a lack. Let's see what y'all said. Not moving the needle in the right direction, harder to share information, less support, losing connections. People would be working on the same issues without collaboration. Great. Left to your own devices. Okay. So here's a perspective that's a little different. Some of the resource drives are beneficial, but I don't know that the majority of the county would know if ACMAT folded. Decrease in youth engagement, lack of communication, health and safety would deteriorate, duplication of efforts. Okay, this person says, you guys aren't going to fold. We're still going to get together. Less information about things and places that can improve the quality of life, lack of communication, lack of information sharing, lack of continuity. Okay. Looks like we've got one on the last. Decrease alcohol and drug dependency. Okay. Question number 5, what should be our cause? All right, so we've got a few big words. Poverty, Allen, healthy, negative. We've got education, drugs. Okay. All right, so here's what you all said should be your cause. Community promotion, tobacco education, reduction of use, substance misuse prevention, be a voice, drug-free. Interesting. This comment's a little interesting. More individual focus instead of family focus. Not all households are family oriented. With traditional moms and dads roles, more focus on substances other than nicotine, marijuana, and alcohol. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if this person would like to come forth and explain what other types of substances that they're referring to, but no, you're welcome. And just feel free to jump in if you'd like to say anything more about that.
And I did not say this one. However, if it makes whoever did feel comfortable, this really resonated with me. So it's not my response, but I very much agree with you, whoever you
Okay.
are.
All right, thanks, Kristen. Okay, so we've got looking for other avenues, roadblocks families are facing, breaking cycles, decreasing negative impacts, homelessness, making sure everyone knows about ACMAT. So we've got some public relations type information, health and housing, making Allen County healthy and safe, educate the community on negative effects of poverty. Okay. Lack of transportation, that one's new. Also a big issue for all of Southeast Kansas. So, okay. What can we reasonably accomplish? The biggest word here is plan. We've got drugs, goals, youth, alcohol. A lot of other great words around it. Okay, what can we reasonably accomplish? Scroll down and see what you all said. Collaboration to accomplish more. Family safety night booth at Farm City Days tobacco education. Okay, that's a very specific goal that someone put in there that they said we could do this things. Education, communication improvements, holding events, more agency collaboration with individuals involving youth, capitalized. Cohesive and strong coalition, reorganizing and recalibration, decreasing youth substance use, improving transportation, making a plan. All right. Okay. Keep the push toward alcohol and drug-free schools. So someone is like, hey, this DFC stuff we're doing is important. Let's keep moving. Another, developing a plan, education, meeting DFC goals, education on the dangers of nicotine, alcohol, and drug abuse. Okay. All right. So I think we've got last question. How can I contribute? Events, time, active, support, advocacy. Okay. All right. How can you all contribute? Time, knowledge, and resources. Attend and participate. Attend at meetings. Provide a schedule of events. Part of committees. Be present. More volunteer opportunities for youth. Volunteer your time. Provide access to resources. Be a voice for families. It's important. Volunteer. Serve on committees. Getting the word out. Provide skills and time when needed, education, active member, encourage others to participate, however we're needed. Hey, there you go. There's somebody. He or she says, however they're needed. Advocacy, education, and supplemental support. All right. So looking at that list, it seems to me that you all have a lot of really great ideas. And although you've got a couple of themes that are really coming through, there's not just one theme, but you also aren't all over the place either. So when I see that as someone who would, who looks at themes and conducts thematic analysis, I would say, you guys really seem like you know why you're here, right? So I think that's really good, because if you were all over the place, I would be like, oh no, okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to do next? But you guys really seem like you are fairly calibrated, which is going to make your work a lot easier as you move forward with a plan. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and paste this in. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. And I know there's one of you that might need the QR code. So if you could give me just a second to sort of explain what it is that we're doing, and then I'll put it up for you. Let's see. All right. Okay, guys, I need your help because I'm not sure if I'm sharing. Can you see the screen that says, what do we want?
No.
Okay. That's perfectly fine. Okay, please give me just a moment. Sorry, guys, I've got it up. I'm just having trouble getting it to you here. Okay, all right, so what you all should be seeing is this. What do we want? So what do you want? 3 answers to this question. What do we want? That's all the directions that I'm going to give you is what do you want? So does anyone need me to put the QR code up?
Actually, yes, please. That'd be great.
Okay, just 1 second. Thank you for being patient with me while I navigate. It's a little harder than you would think to talk and navigate these, so it can be a little bit of a challenge for me. Let me see. All right, can you see the QR code now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, awesome. All right, I'm going to leave it up for just a moment. Whoever is needing it, if you could let me know when you're successfully logged on.
I've got mine. I'm not sure if April does.
Okay. April, if you would please just let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, we got it. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you all for being so patient with me while I work through that. It looks like we're already up to 10. We'll give it till about 3 minutes, till about 1:13, and then just kind of see where we're at. Okay, we're up to 17, so we'll give it just maybe 2 minutes till about, I had said 1:13. It looks like we're pretty darn close. We're still sitting at 17. I don't know if we had a couple of people drop off or not. I hope not.
Yeah, I think that's very possible since we're going into the extra time. So I think if you want.
Still shows 22 participants right now.
Oh, good.
Okay, we're at 18. Well, all right. Well, it's 1:13, so we'll just go ahead. I know that it sounds like Linda's kind of monitoring on the back end as well, so she can holler if I need to refresh. So what do we want? Okay, so the big words are safer and meetings. We've got some other great ones: collaboration, participation, organization. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll down here so you can see what everyone has said. Better living, lots of collaboration, participation, active participation. Great. Safer community. Okay, it's going to scroll down. Improvements, purpose. Okay. All right, so want number 2. Oh, I guess I should confirm you guys can see my screen, right? Okay,
Yes, we can.
awesome. Thank you. Catch me if I don't throw it up there for you. Want number 2. Okay, access and safe. We've got resources, marketing, housing, homes, collaboration. Great. Okay. Safe environments, funding. Focus on more than drug use and prevention. Okay. Health and safety, enthusiasm, unification, another unification, become more of a known resource. Great. Housing. Okay, I'm gonna scroll up. Promotion, affordable safe homes, access to resources, collaboration, marketing, efficiency. Okay, great. All right, so your third want. Okay, ACMAT's really big word here. You've also got poverty, community, collaboration, involvement. Your third want, more involvement, more volunteers, family participation, success, awareness, engagement, making a difference. Focusing on the entire community. We'll scroll up, membership, tobacco-free events, less poverty, education, continued collaboration, and growth. Okay, great. All right. Okay, so what we need to do now, if you guys don't mind, is we need to take a little break, because what I'm going to do is I need to conduct what you call a thematic analysis. I have to kind of quickly look at your responses and place those into categories. And then when I do that, I'll come back. It'll take me 5 or 6 minutes, and I will have one last survey for you. If you all can hang on, if it takes a few minutes past 1:30 and you can possibly hang on, please do, because this is actually the most important part of the entire thing. Once I put this last survey on for you guys, what we really need you to do is prioritize those themes. And that prioritization is going to be what is going to kind of pivot you guys into the next step. So Jenny and Linda are on. If you have any questions or you just want to chat, they said they'd be more than willing to be there, but I'm going to kind of go incognito for a few minutes so that I can set up the third survey. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, awesome. So I'll be back in about 5 or 6 minutes.
So while Dawn is doing her thing, is there anyone that has anything from their organization that they would like to share with the group? Anything they have going on?
I do, Carol. I would like to let everybody know that after a very long time, Hope Unlimited will be having their wine tasting and culinary event again. This year it is going to be held at the Light Company in Yates Center on March the 8th, I think. Anyway, we'll get a flyer out and I'll send it to you so that we can distribute it. But we'd sure like to see a good turnout and everybody come and enjoy the evening and support the services of Hope Unlimited.
Great. Thank
Michelle,
you.
I think it's Friday, March 3rd, I heard.
That's it. There you go. Sorry. Looking at the wrong calendar.
Awesome.
I have something to share.
Okay, go ahead, Marcia.
Thrive is sponsoring a youth mental health first aid training, and it will be on February 22nd from 5 to 10 p.m. This is a free training, plus dinner will be provided. Registration deadline is tomorrow, February 8th. So if anybody's interested, let me know and I can get you the registration form.
Is it also like, is it hybrid or is it all in person?
There is a little bit of pre-training that you have to take that is online. I think it's like 2 to 3 hours, and then the other is in person.
Okay.
Michelle,
an
what
announcement?
time
Oh.
was the Hope Unlimited thing? I'm sorry. I was going to add it to our ACMAT schedule calendar. You're on mute.
Drat. Anyway, I will, I'm not sure what the time is. Typically, we start around 6, and so I'm gonna guess that's what it is, but I will get more information and get that out so that everybody can see the information of what's going on. It's kind of exciting. We haven't done it. I think it's 3 years now. And so kind of super excited about getting out there and seeing everybody again.
Awesome. Hey, did anybody else have anything going on with their organization?
I do.
Okay. Go ahead.
So Thrive Allen County and the Southeast Kansas Substance Misuse Prevention Coalition, we are sponsoring a national speaker to come March 8th. We will be at the Bolus and be presenting a alcohol and vaping, all substances kind of program to Allen County students. If anybody wants to attend, the morning at 10 o'clock, Humboldt and Marmaton Valley, Moran schools, high schools will be presented. And then at 1:15, Iola 8th grade and high school will be there. So if you want to come and view this, please get with me. So what time will work for you so we know how many to expect. But it is for the high school students. And then after they have the presentation, there will be a parent piece that will be sent out as well. But more information is coming. Just put on your calendars, March 8th, if you would like to attend.
Sounds like a great event. I'm glad. Good information for the students to hear for sure.
Yes.
Who is the speaker?
So the program is called Vive 18. It's VIVE 18, the number 18. And the gentleman's name is Jake White. If you want to do a little stalking of him beforehand, he's on YouTube as well, but it's vive18.com. And then the presenter that we will have is, his name is Jake White.
Very nice. All right. Thank you.
And just
Anyone
really,
else?
yeah, sorry, just really quick, I'd throw out there that over at RCIO, we have, we're very fortunate to receive a grant from the Southeast Kansas Community Foundation to purchase and supply Allen County area residents with any kind of DME that they might need, store risers, bedside commodes, all those kind of things. So if you know somebody who needs that type of equipment, send them over to our Iola office Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday mornings We're just on South Washington, right off the square.
Will you have any, will there be an article in the newspaper about this grant or?
You know, I don't know that we did that. We put it out on our Facebook and our website, but if we can get the word out through the paper, I'd be happy to do that as well.
That'd be cool. Very
And
nice.
I'm sorry if I missed it. Is that just for Allen County? Or is that for all your catchment area?
I don't know that it specifies. I think we could go outside of that. If somebody outside the Allen County line has a need.
Okay, and they just need like a medical condition or
We don't
note
really
from
ask
the
too
doctor or
many
something?
questions. If they come in looking for that kind of stuff, we're happy to help them.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Awesome. Anyone else?
And I'm ready whenever you all are.
Okay. Well, we'll turn it back over to you, Dawn. Thank you.
Sure. Does anyone have anything before? I hate to interrupt someone's news. Oh. Okay, all right. So I think let me go ahead and share this. So the last thing that we're going to do, sorry, I'm pulling this up real quickly for the QR code, is we're going to rank priorities. So if you, the couple of you that need the QR code, if you could do me a favor and just pull it off and let me know when you're ready, because the next step is reviewing the priorities that have been identified and then prioritizing those.
I've got mine.
Okay, I think there's, okay, so is everybody good then? It sounds like the two that need it have it. Okay, okay, all right. Give me just 1 second here.
Are you putting the link in the chat too?
Yes. I think I didn't I? Did I forget?
It doesn't seem to, it says no responses found for this question.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what that is? I put the wrong thing in there.
Okay.
Sorry, that's the live report link. Just 1 second. I'll get that to you. Sorry, guys. A lot of times when we do this, there's two of us. It just makes it a little easier. Okay. Just 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. There you go. And then show you what you should be seeing. Okay. All right. So what I did is I took a look at your list and I chunked them into overall themes. But before we do it, I want to make sure that you guys are all okay with the ones I've chosen and make sure that there isn't anything that needs to be added. So looking at your wants and looking at your beliefs, it looks like we've got increase overall community health / living, review ACMAT as an organization as far as goals and meeting structure is looked at, increase the number of active participants in ACMAT, healthier families, drug misuse with a focus on youth. I'm gonna pull these up. Drug misuse with a focus on the overall community, increasing safety in the community, increasing focus in other identified priorities. This says other because the priorities were not named. So we just had to go with other. Increase the community presence of ACMAT, decrease homelessness or increase affordable housing, and increase agency collaboration. So is there anything that's missing? Yes,
Would the community presence of ACMAT, does that include awareness?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
if you could just say that. So there were several that had to do with the marketing and making sure that people know who ACMAT is. So that's what that particular one is referring to, is making sure that people know who you are. Thank you for the question. Is there anything that you all think that we need to add, or do you feel pretty good about this list? Okay. All right, hearing none. So here's what you do. This is called a drag and drop. So you'll take whatever you think is most important and you'll make it number 1. You'll take what's second most important and you'll make it number 2. And you can move these around. And yes, it will be difficult because there are so many very, important things in here. But if you could just do your best and put the things that are most important to you at the top and the ones that are least important to you at the bottom. And then once you have everything done, you'll hit the submit button. And once you do that, then we will be able to see the priorities. And you guys, it is 1:28. If you could hang on until 1:35 or, 1:37 or 8, that would be great. If not, please take a moment to finish this. And then if you just have to hop off, I really appreciate you being here today. Okay, we're already up to 12. We're up to 15. Getting closer. This is like the big finale, everybody. Get to see what everyone said. The software is pretty cool. We have a lot of fun with it. Okay, we've got 17. So in the interest of time, I'm going to go ahead and just show the results, but know that your response, if you haven't quite hit submit yet, will show up in the prioritization. So don't worry, it will be there. Okay. So here's what you all said. The way that you read this is you can see the item on the left, your overall ranking, which is the highest. The rank distribution just kind of shows where people thought it was most important. And then if you look at this score, this score is something that we would use to kind of determine where maybe there were breaks. So your number 1 by quite a bit is increase overall community health and living. Your second one, drug misuse with a focus on youth. So a lot of you say, hey, it's so important that we do this. Increasing agency collaboration is 3rd. And you can see there's sort of a natural break right there because you go from 107 to 92. And so these ones would be what I would consider to be more of a middle priority. Increasing the community presence of ACMAT, increasing number of active participants, decrease homelessness and affordable housing, review ACMAT as an organization, drug misuse for the community, healthier families, and then you can see it drops off quite a bit from there. So these last 2, increase safety in the community and increasing focus to other identified areas, I would say would be a little bit more on the bottom of the list because of the way that the scoring is. But here would be your top 5. And we could do even top 6. So what do you all think about that? Does that sound about right? Increasing overall community health, drug misuse with a focus on youth, agency collaboration, increase community presence, and increase the number of active participants. And then you all could choose if you wanted, if homelessness is something that you would want to prioritize or not. But these all seem to be fairly doable. Homelessness, we know there's nothing easy about homelessness. The other ones, you probably have some ideas. So what I'm going to do with this next is I'm going to take all the information that you gave me today. I'm going to put together a report, and then I'm going to get with Jessica and the board of ACMAT and discuss findings and help you guys get started putting an action plan together that will be a draft that then you guys as a board can look at. So it's 1:33, but I don't have anywhere to be. So if you've got to hop off, please go ahead. If you'd like to discuss the results, I'd love to hear what you think. Thank you all so much for participating and giving us your time today. It was nice to meet all of you.
Thank you, Dawn, so much.
Yes,
Any
thank you.
comments?
I want to thank everyone for participating. I think it really shows that, we have our community is important to us and we want to make a difference. And so it's just putting it all together, working together to make things happen. And so I'm excited to see what all we can put together with this and, put it into action.
You as a community, have a lot of great resources and you work extremely well together. And so I really enjoy when I have an opportunity to spend time with you guys, because you really do have a lot of great things going. And so it'll take me a little while to kind of compile everything. So hopefully in the next, 7 to 10 days, I'll have something back to you. And like I said, I'll send it to Jessica and the rest of you that I've been corresponding with. And then the next step will be to take the information and go from there and see what you all decide that you want to do next. So it's pretty exciting. All right, well, if there's nothing else, I don't have anything else.
Well, thank you so much, Dawn. I greatly appreciate everything you've done to help us through this process.
Great. Thank you.
Thank
It
you
was
all
a
for your
pleasure.
time. All right. We will reconvene next month and see where this information takes us. So,
Carol,
yes.
I know we've been here a long time, but I want to ask a question that maybe some information could be made available before the next meeting.
Oh, yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
If it's appropriate. So I see today, and we've had good discussions, and certainly agree with the need for broadening our scope. As I understand it, or as I've just my limited knowledge, but as a participant of ACMAT, to include homelessness, poverty, affordable housing, transportation, and some things. While we have done a lot to make sure that our information and resources are accessible to everyone, to really dive in and try to be a solution to these issues does seem to me to be a broadening. And so my question is, our drug-free community grant that makes all this work available or possible, as it is today, what requirements, or is there a need to keep a big majority focus on that charge? And then just be thinking about as members, I think we're most effective when we're concentrated in our efforts, but that doesn't mean that it can't include 10 things as opposed to 5 or 6. So that's some first blush things that I thought of.
Yeah, that's a great point, Bruce. And I know, with DFC, we don't want that to be our primary focus and the only thing that we're known for. Because what do we do when that grant ends? So, I think reaching out and partnering with Thrive or again with SEK-MHC and or other organizations, to find out what grant opportunities are available that we can partner with them on. ACMAT is a bit limited since we are not a 501c3. And so we can't do a lot of those on our own. We do have to partner with our other agencies, which I think is a good thing. So definitely, working with those agencies. I know Thrive and Mental Health are, a lot of the bigger ones for those grants. So Debbie did let me know about a grant called STOP. It's Sober Truth on Preventing Underage Drinking. Debbie Higginbotham was going to talk more or with their group to see if this was something that they could even take on, because then that takes another mental health staff person to have to take that on and have the time to work that. But the STOP grant is, it strongly encourages the DFC community grant people to apply for this. It's, what is it? From 50,000 annually for 4 years. So, but we'd have to apply by March 3rd.
If I could just speak right now, when I was at CADCA, I was with Reno County and they're on year 10.
Something's going on, don't.
They are on year 10 and this is the grant they're going for after DFC is going to end for them. So that might be something that we would consider when the DFC grant is ending. And maybe this is an opportunity that ACMAT looks at being a 501c3, so you can control your own dollars and have your own work plan and goals and objectives as a coalition. I'm just going to throw that out there. This could be the opportunity now to become a 501c3 so other grants can come to ACMAT, but that's just up for discussion.
Okay. Definitely something to think about, and to be honest, scares me to death, because that is not, applying for grants and having to track all of that and do the reports. Yeah, it's not my daily thing, so makes me very nervous.
I was also going to add that part of the reason that we did not go ahead a long time ago and pursue 501c3 status was because we did not have the financial foundation to be able to meet the requirements for that. And also too, there was some discussion, and you guys could probably see the value in this, as we've already got several 501c3s in the area, and they do kind of overlap as and you see it more and more as we're advancing. And I don't know, because we do have Thrive and some of those other agencies, I'm not sure I see the value in us being a 501c3, because this is a community collaboration organization, not a
agency.
Not a direct service kind of organization. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And stuff. And so I do know that Jessica at Thrive is very knowledgeable and very accomplished in her grant writing, and she's also has so much experience in it. She's getting grant opportunities constantly. And from a standpoint of both a member of ACMAT and working for a 501c3 and being on the board, I really think that we would benefit a lot more from partnering with someone, even if we had to take a few funds and maybe pay a minimal fee or something for the grant writing of somebody who, and maybe even the administration, because grant administration is hard for the ones that actually require oversight. And I know, because we do it all day, every day. And of course, ours are through the state and the federal government, but there is a lot. It is a full-time occupation for somebody to do that. So that is just something that we might really, really want to consider before we would jump off into the world of being a 501c3.
So I did talk to Jessica at Thrive about this grant, and she said we don't qualify for it, but our grant writers are working with the mental health center and meeting with them to see if we can partner and collaborate and do something with this grant.
Very good.
You know, and then that's up to,
Collaboration.
yes, yes, but that's also up to mental health if they still want to deal with us. So they've been great. They really have, because we were off to a rocky start with our DFC grant, and they kind of they stepped in at our request and helped us out. And since they came on board and with Jessica's help, I'm going to tell you what, we've knocked this drug-free communities thing out of the park. And that's a big deal. This drug-free communities is a big deal, and the fact that we are highly thought of and are meeting our goals regularly, Jessica, that speaks to you and the work that you do and the leadership that you provide, and also to mental health for stepping in and believing in what we had going and what we asked them to do. So I think that's huge.
Thank you, Michelle. And I have to say, the last 2 years in COVID has been a struggle bus. But getting back in there and making those connections has been so inspiring. So thank you for saying that.
Mm.
All right. Anybody else have any comments or thoughts? I think this is all great information, and I think we should have a really good conversation or discussion in our meeting in March. So again, thank you all for your participation and feedback, and we'll look forward to seeing you at our next meeting in March. All right.